Perform this simple experiment at home. Take a few seeds and put it on a tissue paper that has been moistened with water. Now keep this condition for a few days and you will observe that small white structures are coming out of the seed. We know that all seeds contain an embryo, and this embryo converts to form the new plant. So how is this embryo protected before germination? Well, the seed takes different precautions to protect the embryo inside. See, these white structures that are coming out from the seed, they slowly form the new plant. See? So, the first priority for survival is protection. We feel protected, we feel safe inside our home. Similarly, the embryo is protected within the hard covering of the seed, which is known as testa. Now, there are some seeds where there is an extra inner protecting layer. And this inner protecting layer is known as the tegmen. Seeds like beans have the testa as well as the tegmen to protect the embryo. It is not necessary that all seeds contain the inner protective layer or the tegmen. Example, corn. See, it has only the testa, it lacks a tegmen. The second priority for survival is food. Whenever we feel hungry, we go to our mother or we find food at home. Similarly, the embryo gets food and nourishment from the seed itself. There is a part inside the seed which is known as the endosperm, which stores food and provides this growing embryo with all the nourishment it requires for germination. So such seeds in which the endosperm is present is known as the endospermic seeds. Example of such an endospermic seed is corn. Now, the two main components of a plant is the stem and the root. So, are these two components present in the embryo as well? Well, yes. The stem part of the embryo or the stem forming part of the embryo is known as the plumule. So, this part is known as the plumule. And the root forming part of the embryo is known as the radicle. So this is the radicle. And the structure that holds the plumule and the radicle together is this part which is known as the cotyledon. So this leaf-like structure here is known as the cotyledon. So see, this is a zoomed picture. So this is the plumule, this is the radicle, and this is the cotyledon that joins the plumule and the radicle. Now, cotyledon forms the first leaf of a plant. We know that water is of utmost importance for survival. Without water, no life can exist. So even the embryo needs water. So how is the embryo getting the water? Well, all seeds have a pore-like structure which is known as the micropyle, and through this pore, water enters into the seed and to the embryo, and that is how germination takes place. Now, there are some seeds in which there are no endosperms. Seeds where there are no endosperm, food is stored in the cotyledon. This is a bean seed. See, there is no endosperm present here. So, the food is stored in the cotyledon. So, such seeds in which endosperm is not present is known as non-endospermic seeds. Example of such seeds are beans and grams. Seeds of the campion plant are viable for 31,600 years plus minus 300 years. Can you believe that? A seed is viable for this long. How is that possible? Well, this is because the food reserve present in these seeds are abundant. It is present in such an abundant amount that it can provide nourishment to the embryo for these many years. So that is why seeds of this plant is viable or can be viable for this long.